6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right. 7:14. I'm actually ahead of schedule now. One, two, three, four, 5, 7:14. If you're listening, getting ready to watch the 7:15 streaming weather show. This is meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. I'll be with you here in just a second. I just can't. There we go. All right. Still 7:14. Okay, any second now we're going to start. Here it is right now, 7:15. Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer coming to you from the streaming center at Fox 19 now. And while I wait an unbelievable amount of time for the computer to load, they've been very slow lately. We're going to start off with a time lapse here. Now, the time lapse is going to show you what the days looked like, and here we go. Okay, it'll take off here in just a second. Oh, I guess the time lapse isn't working, so we'll just go to the live shot. There's the live shot from Newport on the Levees camera. And what you're seeing here, okay, right in here, this, I knew I had to push another button. Monitor one, just a minute, I'm rearranging things as you see me. All right. So what you see right in here, this dark shade over to here, that's to the west of downtown Cincinnati, and that is a rain shift. That's fairly heavy rainfall moving on into the tri-state, and there you can see it a little bit better. And we do have some fairly heavy rain in the area. Now, we've also had some heavy rain for a while. So if you take a look at this area, the shaded there in that really kind of ugly green, a flash flood warning is in effect. It's in effect until 8:30 p.m. It's been issued by the National Weather Service, and it's from Clarksville southward to Fayetteville into just north of Stone Lick Township. Okay, you have that flash flood warning. That flash flood warning is for most of northern Claremont County. That includes Goshen, but does not include Loveland. In the effect also for southern Warren County, that includes Harlan Township, includes a good portion of I-71, the western part of Clinton County, so it includes Midland and Clarksville, and then in Brown County, just the northern part of the Panhandle, including Fayetteville and areas up to the north of that. So that's a flash flood warning. Now, a flash flood warning means that there's been enough rainfall. The National Weather Service has heard of some flooding, and so be very aware. Now, there's a lot of hilly areas in some of these parts, so be very aware that the areas, if you live around here, the areas that you typically see that have high water when the rain comes down heavily may also have high water. There might be some flooding. And remember, you're going to hear me say this more than once, turn around, don't drown. It's the worst thing you can do is drive into water. You don't know if the pavement has been washed away. You don't really know much of what's down there below the water surface, so be very, very careful of that. And that's a flash flood warning that's in effect for that part of our viewing area. Just to the north of that, including Waynesville, Wayne Township, it extends north out of Warren County into Spring Valley. It also includes the western part, further north, though, of Clinton County. So Wilmington's not in that, neither is Guernseyville, but Wayne Township is included in that, so is a good portion of 71. Now down to the south, until 9 p.m., another flash flood warning in effect. That's in effect for the far eastern part of Mason County, does not include Maysville, and for the far western part of Lewis County, includes Poplar Flat, just north of Nashtown, up to the Ohio River, does not include Vanceburg. Okay, so that's a flash flood warning in effect till 9 o'clock. And again, there are many really hilly areas in that part of our viewing area, so be aware that you may encounter some high water. Don't drive through it. Wait till it goes down or turn around and go a different way. Okay, now we go over to the far, basically the center of our viewing area. Flood advisory in effect till 9:30 p.m. That includes parts of Ohio County and a good portion of Boone County. Okay, and you can see it includes Florence there at the bend in the interstate. It includes Union. Burlington's included in that. Rising Sun across the river is included in that. And so if you're along the Ohio River in Boone County or Ohio County, it includes Aurora, be aware that you may very well have some flooding to deal with. And one more in effect. That's another flood advisory till 9:45 p.m. That's for a good portion of southern Dearborn County, includes Moores Hill, Lawrenceburg, Greendale, Aurora's in that one, Dillsboro's in that, and it includes a sliver of eastern Ripley County to the east of Versailles. Versailles not included. Okay, now that's, as far as I know, that's the latest, and if anything else comes up, I'll let you know right away. But you can see the rainfall. It's fairly slow moving. It's only been moving at 12 to 16 miles an hour. Continues to move to the north, and you can see more coming in out of the south. Now what we're going to do is add the lightning strikes on here. So in the last half hour, up in the upper right-hand corner there, the number of lightning strikes, that includes the entire map area that you can see, 1,121 lightning strikes in the last 30 minutes out, and 1,125 lightning strikes in the last 30 minutes. And a lot of those are right down there just south of the Ohio River in our viewing area. Okay, so there you see the rainfall coming down fairly heavily, moving to the northeast at a slow pace, and beginning to break up. Now what I'm looking at here, this was a solid line. Okay, now it's broken up right here. So from, this is Boone, Kenton, Campbell counties. So across a good portion of Kenton County, the rain is broken up. Northern parts of Boone County is still a heavy shower there, but a lot of it is broken up. So this heavy shower is right around Florence. Florence is right where the knee, as we call it, kind of the knee and the interstate is there. So right around Florence, still some heavy rain, but most of it is fallen apart and broken up. So it was moving north and eastward. So it looks like downtown Cincinnati will be spared any real heavy rainfall, as will a good portion of Hamilton County. Okay, so let's go back to full screen and see what we've got here. Okay, the rainfall rate. Now I'm going to, while we're looking at this, I'm going to redo this map because I did that a little while ago and things have changed. So I'll step you through some live rainfall rates here. So let's go over here to Dearborn County, just north, actually not far from Moores Hill. The rain, if it rains for an hour, it'll accumulate to about 0.84 inches. Okay, right here in the Florence area, that shower we just saw, that rain is coming down at the rate of 0.59 inches in an hour. So if you get half an hour of rainfall, you'd get a little bit more than a quarter inch out of that. Now the heavier rainfall, look at all that magenta color down there through Pendleton County. Okay, so let's see here. So if we check some of that, now that probably might have a little hail with it, but that's coming down at 2.78 inches an hour. So there's some really heavy rainfall out there. So be aware if it's raining where you are and it's really heavy rainfall, be aware of those areas that you know that are in your neck of the woods that may see some flooding issues or some high water. Okay, so that's in Pendleton County, not far from Falmouth, 2.78 inches an hour. If we go to south of Georgetown here in Brown County, we'll pop that one up. That's 1.25 inches an hour. Just south of Peebles here in Adams County, that rainfall is coming down at a rate of 2.23 inches in an hour. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get 2.23 inches. It means that if it sat there for an hour, you'd get that much rainfall according to radar. If it sits there for 1/10 of that time, you'll only get about a quarter inch. Is that okay? So you got to keep that in mind. Okay, now let's go to southern Bracken County. All right, southern Bracken County, right there on the county line. And that's at 1.87 inches an hour. And in Lewis County, right near almost central Lewis County, 3/4 of an inch an hour. So the rain is coming down at a pretty good clip around the Fox 19 Now viewing area, and that's why we have those flood advisories and flash flood warnings in effect. And you can see what's going on here. We've got the air streaming in from the south and east. You can see the storms form here. They die out pretty quickly. The storms that are coming up to our neck of the woods, watch them as they start off here, die out. There's still a lot of lightning in that. So again, not severe thunderstorms. Lots of lightning, lots of thunder, some heavy rainfall, but there's almost no wind having been reported with these. The highest gust I saw earlier today was only 35 miles an hour, so we're not in severe territory there. All right, now we're looking to the west-northwest from Turfway Park, and you can see that some of that's thunderstorm activity. It's kind of hard to separate it out, but more than likely that might be the top of a thunderstorm well off to the west. Okay, if you happen to be going to Fireworks Friday tomorrow, Well, the song kind of remains the same. 88 degrees is the expected temperature at first pitch. So a hot, sweaty evening with the chance of a shower in the tri-state. Final out, 81 degrees and still humid, so a humid evening. Now, again, I've been telling people all week long, if you feel cheated that you missed out on some really good, hot, sticky baseball weather, if you didn't go Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, today they're off, so you couldn't go. But tomorrow is another day with some hot and sweaty weather for baseball, and it's a Fireworks Friday. If you've never been to a Fireworks Friday, it's pretty cool because they get the game gets done, they begin to clean things up, they dim the lights as soon as the fireworks are ready, and then you can see the fireworks launched. They're launched out over the river, but you can see them from the stadium pretty nicely. Okay, low temperatures this morning looked like this. One spot dropped into the 60s. Everybody else stayed in the sticky 70s. High temperatures today. Now, these will be modified as of 8 p.m., but as of right now, the preliminary numbers. 92 at CVG, Harrison 91. Look at Falmouth and Maysville, both at 95. Lebanon at 95. Springville at 90. 91 in Batesville, Richmond, and Madison, and Portsmouth. It was hot out there. Lunken Airport at 93. And so, again, and when you factored in the effect of the humidity, the heat index in a lot of those areas was over the 100-degree mark. Okay, airport temperatures right now, mainly in the 70s. A lot of that is because of rain-cooled air. You can see that it hasn't rained in Shelbyville. It's still 93, but Madison and Batesville have recovered from their earlier rainfall. It hasn't rained yet in Portsmouth and Ashland, and so temperatures have cooled into the 70s. Now, what this has done, this really hasn't made it that much better. It's just much more humid and steamy out there now. Even though it's cool, the temperatures will rebound a little bit, back up 5 or 6 degrees, and it's just going to be a steamy evening. Okay, so Madison, the heat index is 100, 101 in Shelbyville. Batesville, the heat index at 97, but everywhere else it's close to the temperature because of that rain-cooled air. And overall, again, we'll see the temperatures and the heat index rebound a little bit. Okay, so here's what happens. Starting at 10 p.m., the shower activity is pretty much gone. As we head through the overnight, you can see there's no more rain in the forecast, with temperatures dropping into the 70s. During the day on Friday, the storms rebound. Notice temperatures do make it into the 90s once again. And if we take a look at what the heat index values, it's not in there. The heat index values will once again be at or a little bit higher than 100. So right now it's 74. Okay, now we always forecast this when you have spotty showers and thunderstorms. You always forecast it based on what it looks like without the rain. So right now it's the 7 p.m. temperature 74. We expected it to be 89 if it hadn't rained, but it should recover back into the low 80s and then drop back off to 78. So think of the 11 p.m. temperature is 78. It's not 89, obviously, now, but it will recover into the low 80s as we head on toward the evening. Okay. And National Weather Service, you just might have heard my phone bing there. The National Weather Service just issued a new flood advisory. Let's go ahead, and we'll stop at that forecast, go right to that flood advisory so you know what's going on immediately. And that flood advisory, I can only read one of the counties here unless I open it up on my phone, but I'm trying to get to it faster so we don't have to open it up there. So let me go back to the top here. All right. All right, I'll open this file that you saw before. It's the one that for Lewis and Mason counties for that flash flood warning. Okay, here it comes. I see it loading here. Our computers have been so slow today. It's like you want to call somebody and tell them to fix it because it's just like you might as well chisel it in stone as wait for the computer to call it up, because now 30 seconds ago I clicked on the button and here it finally is. It's way too slow. Okay, especially when you've got things to do. Okay, so here is, this is the flash flood warning for Lewis and for the eastern part of Mason County. Now you can already see the green over there, so we're going to move this back over, going to zoom out a little bit. Now remember, this is a lot of the area I just showed you, the heavy rainfall, and that is a flood, that green is a flood advisory, so we can do an online query, okay, or an on-screen query, excuse me. And we'll move that over so you can see the geographic extent there. Okay, and I'm going to save that as a new show element, so if I have to use it again. So a flood advisory until 10:30 p.m. now for basically the eastern part of Pendleton County. So that includes Route 27 and a little bit to the west of that, and the rest, essentially the rest of Pendleton County. Foster, Kentucky's included in that. Augusta's in it. Brooksville's in it. Almost all of Bracken County is included. And the western part of Mason County, including Maysville, is included, but the southern part of Mason County around Mays-Lick is not included in that flood advisory. Okay, so that flood advisory is a statement by the National Weather Service saying that there's been enough rain, not enough for outright flash flooding, but there could be high water from any of those areas that you typically expect to see high water when the rain's coming down heavily. So if you're in Pendleton County, if you're in Bracken County, and if you're in Mason County, that flood advisory applies to you. It does not apply to the far southern part of Mason. It does not apply to the very small southern tip of Bracken County, but Brooksville, Falmouth, Maysville are all included in that flash flood flood advisory for them. Okay, so now what I'm going to try and do is navigate back to the forecast we were talking about. Okay, so it'll come up here in just a second, depending on how slow the computer's being. Okay, and what we'll look at here, so this is the flood advisory they just issued moments ago. And again, it's spinning its wheels. There it is. Okay, so the forecast for this evening, again, looks like this. 74 right now is not anywhere near the 89, but that's because of the rain-cooled air. We would expect that. But when you have scattered showers and thunderstorms, it may miss CVG. It didn't miss CVG this time. So I think it'll recover to about 82 by 9 p.m., then drop back down to 78 by 11 p.m. And I'm going to have to look over things. We might be seeing the possibility of some fog tomorrow morning because of all the rain we've had. Right now, just keep that in the back of your mind. I will check what a model says on that coming up here in just a second. And then overnight, we are looking at temperatures staying in the 70s. Once again, calm winds, so no nice relieving breeze or anything, just a sticky way to start the day. But it does look like the morning commute is going to be dry once again, which is good news. All right, so your 7-day forecast looks like this. We're looking at a low temperature tonight, right around the 75-degree mark, 90 the high tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last of the first alert weather days for this early summer heat wave we've had. We had 5 days in a row in the 90s, and we had 5 days in a row with heat index values going up over 100 degrees. Now we're going to drop off a few degrees Saturday and Sunday into the mid and upper 80s, slightly lower humidity. So it's not going to be like a walk in the park. You're not going to walk outside and say, whoa, this feels so good. That's not going to happen. What's going to happen is you're going to say, oh, this still feels kind of humid and uncomfortable. It doesn't feel like it did during the week. So, but it is improving. As a matter of fact, look at this word right here, right there, comfy. Did you ever think you'd hear the word comfy again describing our forecast? I didn't. Well, I knew we would, but it didn't feel like it would ever get here. Okay, so that's the 7-day forecast. And then, high temperatures Monday and Tuesday, just at or below normal, a little bit below normal on Wednesday and Thursday with comfy sunshine on the way for Wednesday. Okay, then when we go to beyond the 7-day forecast, we've got a couple days with highs of 89. That's the 4th and the 5th. We may see some showers in the area on the 4th. Now, the 4th does not look like a washout. It looks like one of those typical summer days where a thunderstorm may pop up and give some people a shower. The 5th, 89, Sunday, 88. So a warm and fairly humid holiday weekend. The 4th is Friday, so Saturday and Sunday are part of that 3-day weekend. Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, it looks like the temperatures begin to recover. They try to. And we do make it back to 90, it looks like, by the time we get to Thursday. So here's what all that means. 14 days of high and low temperatures all on one graphic. There are the highs, there are the lows. We add the normals on there, and you can see we kind of flirt with normal on the high side, starting on the 30th. That's Monday. And we stay a little bit above normal on the low side. But overall, we do recover back to a high of 90 by the time we get to the 10th, the way it's looking out there right now. Okay. I'll tell you what, man, what a day. It's just one of those days. Okay, every time I get a graphic ready and say, okay, I'm ready to put this on the air, another advisory or something comes up and I've got to modify things. So, but that's the job. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at what our Facebook viewers are saying. I don't see any. Oh, there we go. Sorry. All right, let's go. Brandon Hobson, once again, good evening to you, Steve. How are you doing this evening? Brandon, I am doing great. I'm 71 years old. In a short time, I'll be 72. As my dad always said, every morning I get up and look at the obituaries in the newspaper, my name's not there, it's a good day. So it's been a good day, and I love my job. It's just some days it's a little harrowing, because everything's happening so fast. So I'm doing well. Susan Wally says, good evening, Steve. We have some big-time flooding out here in Blanchester. And if you have any video of it, don't put yourself in danger. Don't go out if you're not going out. But if you know of anybody or anybody that has some video of it, let me know. But according to Susan, some widespread flooding in the Blanchester area. Okay. How about Harrison, Ohio? Matthew Roll wants to know. Harrison, well, you're going to see some shower and thunderstorm activity. Let me get back on the computer here and take a look at the radar, and we'll show you where Harrison is and what it looks like is going to happen there. Okay, here we go. It's coming up again, and who knows how long, because the computers have been so slow. You might as well chisel the message and rock and send it out. Okay. All right. So let's see here. What? Oh, that was a message from the groundskeeper at the Res, with the Red's official forecasters. And I said heavy rains moving in, and it just disappeared. I can show you what Derek is talking about here. And this, I tell you, this happens so often when you've got these marginal situations. There you see the rain, look at all that, boom, it just goes away. That happens all the time. You wouldn't believe how often that happens. Just happened the other day, a thunderstorm formed over CVG, heavy rainfall from around CVG into across the river into the Delhi Township area, and it died before it got to the Reds game with just a few sprinkles. Okay, so the question was about Harrison, Ohio. Okay, here's where Harrison is, right there. And you can see the rain is doing the same thing that it did down over downtown Cincinnati. It is just dying out. Look at the lightning go away. So you might get a brief shower there, depending on how far north or south you live. But the shower activity is dying out near Guilford, Indiana. So not much in the way of rain or storminess. You might have heard some thunder off in the distance. And we may see some more rain later on. But for the next few minutes, I don't think we see much. Or next hour or so, I don't think we see much in the Harrison area. All right. Stephen Bryce Campbell. Will we have severe thunderstorms again tomorrow with winds? It does not look like it, okay? One of the things you have to know about severe thunderstorms is that severe thunderstorms work with the environment. So if a thunderstorm is moving along at 5 or 6 miles an hour, and some yesterday were, it's really difficult to get a severe level wind gust out of them, because to get a severe level wind gust out of the thunderstorm, if the thunderstorm's moving at 20 miles an hour, okay, and the air flows out of the thunderstorm at 30 miles an hour, that still only gives you a 50 mile an hour wind gust, okay? So if the thunderstorm is moving at 4 miles an hour, you've got to get a tremendous wind gust coming down and out of that thunderstorm to make it to severe levels. And we just don't have a lot of environmental wind to push those thunderstorms along tomorrow, so I think it'll be another one of these situations. You might have a 35 mile an hour wind gust. You probably have some localized short-term flooding from them tomorrow, but I don't think they're going to be on the severe side. Okay, so let me widen the view out here on radar again. Okay, and you can see the same thing happening if we look at this. I'm trying to get back to where I can see myself here. All right, so if you look at this area, look at the lightning just bloom up here, right here, and then die out. There's still a lot of lightning from Pendleton County down through Bracken into Mason. And then this area that caused so much rainfall from northeast Hamilton County through Warren, it just died out as we moved north and eastward too. And of course, I guess the next best thing we do is we take a look at a wider view. All we've got to do is get on the right computer here, and you can see there's not much else down here. Now remember what's going on. These thunderstorms are blooming up and firing up, I should say, during the heat of the day. So we've got a lot of moisture, which is thunderstorm fuel. We've got hot air out there, which also helps fuel the thunderstorms. But we don't really have enough energy to fuel storms like this until the sun gets high in the sky. And at this time of day, the sun's highest in at this time of year, the sun's highest in the sky at 1:37 p.m. And it works like this. It's not at noon. Okay, our time zone is based on the 75th meridian along the East Coast. Okay, and so at noon standard time or 1 p.m. daylight time, that's when the sun is directly south and highest in the sky along the East Coast at the 75th meridian. Well, we, in rotation rate time, we are 37 minutes away from the Earth rotating to bring the sun directly overhead for us. So with the sun directly overhead, or the highest in the sky can be on the East Coast at 1 o'clock, it takes till 1:37 for it to be highest in the sky that it'll be in directly south here. So 1:37 is when you get the strongest sunshine. Then there's a time lag. There's a little bit of a time lag, and that time lag, it takes a little while, believe it or not, for the sunshine to heat the ground, for the ground then to release that heat and heat the air, and for the air to start to rise. And so that's why the strongest sunshine on daylight saving time is at 1:37 p.m. right here in Cincinnati. It's a little bit later to the west, a little bit earlier to the east. So 1:37, okay, it takes a couple hours for that heat to literally be absorbed by the ground, transfer back to the air, and accumulate enough in the air to start those thermals rising, and which is the birth of the thunderstorm. And then those thunderstorms last for a couple of hours, and that's why we get them at this time of the day and why they begin to die down. So sunshine, the highest point, when the sun's highest in the sky here on daylight saving time is 1:37. Okay, that's when the strongest sunshine is. From then, for a couple hours, the sun heats the ground absorbs that heat, it transfers that heat back to the air, and it takes a couple hours for that air to begin to rise and for you to get a really good rising thermal going. And then eventually that leads to thunderstorm formation, but it doesn't usually take place till later in the afternoon, and that's what happened today. And since these are all driven by the extra heat that the sun provides on a daily basis, once the sun goes down, that extra heat's gone and they go away. Okay, and so we have most of this stuff just dying out. That's the stuff we looked at in the Harrison area, and we still have some pretty hefty rain, lightning, and thunder, nothing severe, down here from Pendleton into Bracken into Mason, Robertson, and moving now across the river into southern Claremont, so Utopia, you're about to get some heavy rain, heading into Brown and Adams counties also, but again, not severe, just heavy rain and very, very noisy. Excuse me a second. I got excited and carried away about thunderstorm convection. And that's really interesting. There's a lot of people, even meteorologists, that don't realize that noon isn't when you get your strongest sunshine. You get your strongest sunshine because you're in a time zone, and noon in our time zone is when the sun is directly overhead, and the highest it is in the sky on a given day, on the 75th meridian. And to get to the area around Cincinnati, it takes the Earth 37 minutes to rotate enough for the sun to be directly overhead here, and the highest it'll be in the sky. Okay, so 1:37 is when you get the strongest sunshine. You get the greatest heating of the air a couple hours after that, and so it takes from 1:37 till 3 or 3:30, and that's when you begin to get the thunderstorms forming. They can form a little earlier, some days a little bit later, but that's the general process there. Okay, so and then they're dying out, and it's just some rain. And be careful if you get some heavy rain, and you know an area in your neck of the woods that tends to have high water during heavy rain. Be careful, because it may have high water for a few hours here this evening. Now I've kind of lost my place. Oh, there we go. All right. All right. All righty, let's see. Somebody's putting an ad out there. We don't like that. We're just trying to talk weather here, so I'm going to. Okay, that one's gone. Okay, Jess Carver. Jess, I'm going to take it that you're probably a little bit younger than I am. But Jess Carver says, I hate to wish my life away, but I can't wait for fall. You know, I'm kind of with you, Jess, but when you get to 72, 71, I'll be 72 soon. Excuse me. I don't want to wish even a second away, so. But I understand completely. Okay, Darla Watson says, good evening, Steve. It's rainstormed heavy here in Aurora with lightning, thunder, and windy. My backyard is flooded. And that's why Aurora, Darla, that's from Darla Watson out in Aurora, Indiana. And if we do a box zoom here, I can show you what's going on. Okay, so, oops. Let me zoom in one more time, get it a little closer here. Okay, so there, you see right here, and I'll show you full screen here in just a minute. Right here is Aurora, Indiana, okay, right there. And I'll give it to you. I don't know if you're on full screen. I've got so many buttons I got to push constantly to see where I am. Okay, so there. Now there's Aurora, and look at that lightning and thunder and that rain come through. Now if I turn off the lightning on this for you, you'll get a better idea of the rainfall. And I tell you what I can do. I can if I work it right. Okay, let's. I've got to save something here real quick. Now, then I'll turn off the lightning. Okay, so I turn off the lightning here. Now you can see that rainfall. All right. And we can go and take a look. I'm just going to say now, so the rain stuff's coming through here. But we can go to a panel that'll let us get a radar estimate of how much rain has fallen in Aurora, because she said that her backyard is flooded. So give me a second, or maybe 10. And it'll come up here in just a second. Okay, so Aurora's still there. Okay, so according to radar out of Wilmington, okay, just outside of Aurora, looks like the rainfall total has been 2.3 inches. Woo! Now that's radar estimated. Okay, right in Aurora, let me do this right here, probably a little bit less. Okay, no, I hit the road. Sorry, let me erase that. I hit US 50, and the computer thought I was asking about what route that was. All right, so I can do this. Let me just zoom in a little bit more. Okay, oops, you just heard the phone go off here. We'll have to see what's going on. Event canceled. The flood advisory for Bracken County, Pendleton County. Let me get the rest of it. It looks like they've gotten rid of that flood advisory. Okay, so let's see. All right, I'm looking at some of my phone. So it says flash flood advisory has been replaced with a flash flood warning. Uh-oh, I'll get to that in just a minute. Let me get you one more estimate of the rainfall here around the Aurora area, and then we'll head over that way. Okay. So 1.3 inches. So it looks like between Aurora, where the radar says 1.3 inches, and near Hogan, where the radar says 2.4 inches, you've gotten anywhere from 1.3 to maybe 2.5 inches of rain in that part of Indiana. And so that is why the backyard of Darla is flooded there. Okay. Jess Carver, will West Union see storms? Okay, let me get back to radar. I've got to get a few things done here. Okay, so will West Union see storms? All right, so you're not going to see severe thunderstorms, but you might see thunderstorms, but nothing severe, okay? So let me zoom in here. Okay, so there, West Union's already seen some heavy rain, and it looks like the stuff that's around Maysville and Brookville will also make it back to West Union and bring you the chance of some heavy rainfall. Now, let me go. I've got to go to some other. Jeez. Too much going on here. Happening too fast. Okay, I'm going to load this panel, and then we're going to go take a look at that flash flood warning that they've just issued. Okay, now again, the computer is running glacially slow. So, okay, thank you, Brad Mousehart. The rain did not make it to downtown Cincinnati. We got this little thing going that oftentimes it doesn't. So, okay, so let me get something going here. All right, so we're going to go to the east. Now, remember, we just looked at this. Okay, if you look at this, this was the original flash flood warning from far eastern Mason County on over into Lewis County. This then, when we looked at it the last time, was a flood advisory. Okay, so now let me zoom out a little bit. I'll put the badge on there for you. All right, move this down. Okay, now we do a query. Now I'll just do it north of Brooksville there. Okay, so flash flood warning until 10:30 p.m. and I'll show you full screen here for Bracken, Mason. Well, you can see them all here. So Mason County, the parts of Mason County that were not included before are now. So if you're in Maysville, if you're in the two main roads that head south out of Maysville, be aware that some of those low spots on the rural roads when you get off the main roads could very well have high water. So that includes all the way over into the border with Bracken County, including Astoria. Brooksville's included in this flash flood warning. So is Augusta, Foster. And then in Pendleton County, it includes almost all of Route 27 through Pendleton County. It includes Falmouth, it includes McKinney'sburg, and it will last until 10:30 p.m. So almost all of Pendleton County, almost all of Bracken County, and all of the northern parts of Mason County, along with a good portion of northwestern Lewis County under flash flood warnings right now. And let me see what the National Weather says about that. Okay, so let's see. It says refer to the earlier bulletin. Boy, I tell you, it's one of those days. Okay, back to messages. Back to this one. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go. Now I finally found it. Sorry, I had to look through all. There's so many that have come out. So, so when they issued the flash flood advisory, they were saying that rainfall totals up to 2 inches, additional 2 inches. So anywhere up to 2.5 inches may fall or have fallen there. So let me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take this map that we're looking at now. And I'm going to go again, and we'll take a look at what some of the rainfall totals may have been, and then I've got to get going. Okay, so let's take a look at palettes, echo tops now. No, I want observed precipitation. All right, I just hit the button, and it was fast this time. Okay, you can see the area where the heaviest rain has fallen. All right, so. I'm going to go through here and do queries on a number of spots. Just to the east of Piner, it'll pop up right there. 2 inches may have fallen, according to a radar estimate. Right here, just to the west of Route 27 in northern Pendleton County, you'll see it pop up here. 3.1 inches, according to radar. Now, there may have been some hail on that, so that may be not as much rainfall. Right to the northeast of Falmouth, okay, 3 inches. Just south of Brooksville, 2.1 inches, and just southwest of Brooksville in the far southern corner, 2.5 inches. And then we go to the little tiny corner. Let's just take a look. now when I move the map, it's going to change this, but let me try and zoom out a little bit here. Yeah, it'll take this away, but we've got just south of Mays Lick, okay. We have as much as maybe, and that'd be just south of Mason County, but southern Mason County may have 2.4 inches. So a lot of rainfall out there, and then around Poplar Flat in Lewis County, as much as 2.7 inches of rain has fallen. Now you might wonder, when you look at this map, the heavy rain is down here. Why did they include the flash flood warning all the way up to the Ohio River? Well, that's because down here is out of the river valley. Okay, so this is high. Now, if you've ever driven through this part, especially if you head southwest going through Maysville, you go up that hill and you're on up out of the river valley. So it looks like most of this rain has fallen on the hilltops above the river valley. So all that rain is going to be flowing down the streams into the Ohio River. So if you live along any of the streams that typically tend to flood, be very aware that you may have to take evasive action here over the next couple of hours. Now, we've seen much more rain than this cause bigger problems. So from what I see here, I wouldn't expect the flooding to be historic, but there still could be life-threatening rain falling on the higher elevations here south of the Ohio River, all the way from basically Kenton and Campbell counties down through Pendleton, down through Bracken, down into Mason County. And again, as all that runs off into the creeks and heads on into the Ohio River, you may have some issues there. Okay. All right, I've got to get back into the weather office. I thank you very much for watching. If anything else comes up that is of a life-threatening nature, we'll break in on TV. Thank you for joining me. Have yourself a nice night, and I will be off tomorrow. So meteorologist Erin Ashley will be in my place. She does a great job. She knows what she's talking about, and so anything that comes up as far as your plans for the weekend and that will be affected by the weather, she'll be able to fill you in on that. So thank you for joining me. Have yourself a nice evening. Stay dry, and remember, let's go. One last thing. Got to look at it again. Because we haven't, I thought I'd never be able to use this word again until we got into the fall, the way the summer started out. But we're going to see it. Okay, I've just got to go down a few more here. I'm going to load the 7-day up for you. And when that comes up, we'll take a look at that in detail here. And again, I've just been drumming my thumbs, waiting on the computer. Here it comes. There we go. So now let's go to the 7-day forecast and see it full screen here. All right. So Friday, 90. It's a first alert weather day again. Flooding rain still possible in some spots. In addition to that, the humidity sky high. Heat index over 100 for a while. A little bit cooler, a little bit less humid on Saturday, but still not comfortable. It's still going to be sticky and nasty. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all look better, especially Monday and Tuesday, getting better pretty quickly. And then Wednesday, there's the word I thought I wouldn't be able to use for a long time, right there. Comfy, excuse me, comfy sunshine coming our way with nice humidity, nice temperatures, and finally some light at the end of the tunnel. So that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Erin Ashley's in at 7:15 tomorrow. Please join her for the latest.